Welcome to this podcast.
Water Polo Expert Talk. Get the insights. Warm welcome to the next episode of the Water Polo Expert Talk podcast. Today I have the opportunity to talk with the Olympic champion and the current head coach of the Hungarian national team, Tamás Märcz. I hope you will enjoy listening to this episode, and now let's get this talk started. Okay, so Tamás, welcome to the podcast. Very nice to see and hear you in the podcast with the next episode. So thanks for your time and thanks for joining today.
Thank you for this invitation. I'm very appreciate this invitation. Nice to be here.
I'm really looking forward to our talk today because, to be honest, the first gold medalist in this podcast. So we have a little development in the podcast series. So we have Olympiad attendees, silver medalist, gold medalist we do not have so far. So there's not so much room for improvement from this time on. So so maybe at the beginning I would like to give you the chance also to introduce yourself to the listeners.
Let's see. I'm Tamás Märcz. How you said, I'm 46 years old, and I have been working as the head coach of the Hungarian men water polo team for 4 or 5 years, since January of 2017, and I started water polo. I started played water polo when I was 9 years old, and I studied in KSI. We pronounce KSI. This is the meaning of this Central Sports School. A lot of maybe someone in the water polo knows this club. It's a very, very valuable and important club in Hungary. In this club now in this moment participate in the first division, but it is the target of the club. They build players. And from this club came out Tamás Kásás, Tibor Benedek, brothers of Steinmetz, and actual president Attila Vári. Many good players. And in the 90s, 80s, 90s, it was the best. I can tell you the best, and still one of the best youth club. And I used to play there for 10 years, and I like all players in KSI, when they reach the 18, 19 years old, they go in another club. They went to BVSC, how foreigners call Vasútas, and it was in the 90s was such a good team. We won 4 times the Hungarian championship. We participated in the Champions League. We arrived in the Final Four as well. And I played even in the national team, Hungarian national team, from 95 to 2001. And in 2000, I decided to go to Italy, to the professional league, because I wanted to play there and live there in Italy, because it was my dream when I was young. And in that time, no doubt, it was the best championship in the world. And many of my teammates played there. And in 12 years, I played in 5 teams, in Savona, Recco, Nervi, Chiavari, and finally in Naples, in Acquachiara. And it was a very, very good experience. I have my wife. We have been living together for 21 years. And I have 2 daughters, 17 years old, the older one, Mira, and Laura, she's 11. They don't play water polo. They play volleyball.
Okay, volleyball. So which
Yes.
is also very famous or very popular in Hungary, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So when you say you started with the playing water polo with the age of 9 years, so which is I guess a normal age to start water polo. Is it also in the comparison to today? So is it different today to become or to start playing water polo in between today times And your times when you started playing water polo, so is it a difference? So are there more kids today or less kids today coming to your clubs?
I have to tell you, when we started to play water polo, it's not the right word to play water polo because in the first 2 years in this club there was a changing of the method how to build players, and in the first 2 years we swam only.
Okay.
Only every second Saturday we could touch the ball, and it was a little bit advantage for the other clubs because they started to do the skills with the balls compare our team. But it became a later advantage for us because we became really, really good swimmers. And it was the beginning of a new tradition in Hungary, how to change the method to build players. And in this moment, I think it's a little bit different because very, very hard to keep the guys in the pool. And the children a lot of times arrive younger than 9 years old into the pool, and it's necessary also because they become even if they come a little bit earlier, they can become better, I think, in the future. And I want to tell you something about our clubs as well, because it's very, very important in our club. It's maybe you don't know the Császár's pool, but a lot of foreigners know the Komjádi pool, and it's the famous one. But these two pools, these two swimming pools, are next to each other, and one entrance, but two swimming pools. And it's a very, very old swimming pool, and it was an open pool, and we used to play and used to practice there for 6 years, and until they closed this pool. Until when we were there, they keep the old pool, and it was very interesting because it was a 50 to 25 meters pool, and it was like a tube, a bus tube, and one more than 1 meter high was the wall, and circle around everywhere, and anywhere where you went, you could shoot the wall. And it was one of the biggest advantage for the guys, and because it was not necessary a goalkeeper. You shoot the wall from the morning until to the evening, and it helped for us, I think, a lot. And I have to tell you also, because in this pool was one of maybe the first European Championship of swimming and water polo in that time was together in 1926 was, and the Hungarian team won this European Championship. Yes, the facilities are very important, and we are in the good moment in Hungary because we can find everywhere very, very good swimming pools, not similar pools like our ex-swimming pool with a big wall around, but we are lucky, I think, in Hungary because the kids of us can train and practice really, really enough that they want.
Yeah, so maybe in the regarding also the kids coming to start playing water polo, so maybe there are some impressions outside Hungary saying, okay, it's so much easier when you have the sports number one, for example, water polo, instead of like in Germany, football or soccer. It's so much easier to bring the kids to be interested in playing water polo. So do you think this is really the case, or is it's an advantage for example, Hungary or Serbia or whatever nations you name it in this area? Is it easier then to get kids to the pool?
I think yes. In this moment, we have about 10,000 water polo players. 10 or 15% of these players are women, and the others are men water polo players. And I have to tell you that after the 2000 Sydney victory, the number of the water polo player was immediately 2 or 3 times more than before. We had about 3 or 4 thousand before guys, and now more than 10,000. And but how you know, in Hungary we have a very big tradition for a long time in the water polo. We were very lucky because we had, especially in Budapest, thermal waters in Budapest, and our players, even when there was very cold in Budapest, they could practice in these thermal waters, and not like, for example, in Italy or in the Mediterranean area, they could only for 4 or 5 months to play in water polo in the sea. And our players played in more or less 12 months in a year, water polo. And yes, I think the parents give their kids to water polo with easy, because it's a very, very valuable sport in Hungary. Big respect for the water polo players, and a nice tradition. Maybe not everybody knows, but in the last 100 or 150, 120 years, Hungary have just won 9 times the Olympic Games, and if one kid go to the swimming pool, his dream is not only to become a good water polo player. All kids want to become Olympic champions. This is maybe the difference in another country.
Yeah, so because the background or the history you mentioned before, this is maybe something we at least in Germany at the moment do not have in this area of water polo, and this is really then also the case or the consequence then that it's not so easy to convince people or kids or parents to bring their kids to the pool. And the thing you mentioned, for example, that the number of kids are increasing in this specific sports. We do have, I guess, during the success maybe for handball or tennis in Germany in the last couple of years. Yeah. So when there's Steffi Graf or Boris Becker, so everybody wants to play tennis. So this was any time, regardless of the sports, I guess, a really big impact when you have such success people and the kids have somebody to look up. And this is in your case water polo. In our case, maybe at the moment not so much water polo. But you also mentioned that you play in several countries like Italy and Hungary for sure. Are there any difference in the game? So let's say that we're in the tactic, in the philosophy maybe of a difference between the philosophy of water polo in Italy, in Hungary, in Serbia, or whatever.
I think the Hungarian water polo 20 or 30 years ago, until the 30 years ago, was the famous for the skills, for the techniques. And many times when Hungary won with the technical capacity. And maybe we don't have more this advantage because all countries in Europe or in the world reach this level of skill techniques, and you have to give something more if you want to win. If I compare Italy and Hungary, there are two different type of play, how to play. I think the Hungarians still believe in their techniques, skills, but in the last 20 or 30 years, even in Hungary, we started to work on the physical condition. And in Italy, when I went to Italy, I was Olympic champions. I studied a lot of things, for example, in the different tactics, and also in the physical condition. Many times the Italian people are not tall and strong like the Serbian and the Croatian people, and they try to find another way to win a match against, and they are very, very in a good condition. They are very, very fast and good prepared in tactic skills. And maybe everybody knows everything in the water polo now, but the difference maybe who can concentrate in the most important moment of the match, and maybe this is the most important in the end of the match. Who has something in their head?
Something special, I would say.
Yes, something special.
You need even in these close games, you need something special, for example, to win the game for you. And as you mentioned before, all the countries and all the teams are more or less on a same level of physicalness and from a technical point of view, that you have to find your special thing during the game to win the game. When you attend the Olympic Games as a player, so is it different to attend the Olympic Games or the World Championships as a player or as a coach?
It was
for sure. It's definitely a difference. But what you prefer? So prefer is maybe not the wrong word, not the right word. But what do you think? It's really the benefit from both parts.
Always the most difficult that you have in front of you, and when we were there before the semi-final and final of the Olympic Games, seemed the hardest work, and now it like as coach I feel the same thing because this is my work now, and
so as a player you can concentrate on your thing, so you have to play, and as a coach maybe you have all these several other aspects around you.
Yes, maybe this is the difference, because if you are in a team you have your teammates and you can help each other, and you work in a team, and if somebody miss something, maybe the other can help you, and you have to concentrate on your job, your work. I think one player has less to think than a coach. One coach wake up in the morning and maybe even in his dream was how to improve their team, and for example, I think all day in our team how can we improve, and one player maybe all day does his life, and he goes to the swimming pool, he does his job, he goes to home and maybe doesn't think more about the water polo. One coach has to watch from outside all team, and always think about their team, the opposite team, how can reach the final, how can do something better than day before.
Yeah. So when you end your active career and starting your work as a coach, was this something you have in mind, that you have to be a coach 24/7 and really focusing on the other teams, on your team, on your trainer team, trainer staff, and so on? So really 24/7 thinking about water polo, watching other games, watching live streams, on and on. So is it something you had in mind when you think, okay, I would become a trainer?
Yes, I was really young. I was maybe teenager, and it was in my mind. I've done when I was 19 years old, the basic level of coach, and after the high school I have done the medium level of coach, and after that I went to the physical education university, and for 4 years I was studying, and I was obviously I played in this period, but I was thinking about to become one time a coach, and I was very lucky, because in my player career I worked together with one of maybe the best coaches. If I can mention somebody, Dénes Kemeny, Horkai, George Gerendás, or in Italy, I could work together with Pino Porzio, Claudio Mistrangelo in Savona, and many others. And I saw a lot of things how can work the coach job, and it was in my mind what type of coach I wanted to become, and my idea was to help the players to play and give out our maximum in a match, and I think this is the best coach help the players in this way. And it's very hard because in one team there are a lot of players, and maybe they need a different way for the success. But they have to be very calm in the best moment, and I try to give them the preparation, the best preparation that I imagine. But I try to give them lot of calm in the best moment to express themselves as they can.
And so when you try to, or when you say you really have from, let's say, early at the early stages during your active career, you have also already the idea to be a coach at the end. Is it, let's say, a good thing or a good point to have several coaches during your active career? So in your case, several coaches in several countries. Can you describe maybe one or two things you try to keep from them that you can give right now to your team?
From all my ex-coach, I studied something. For example, one of my first coach was George Gerendas, ex-Olympic champion, and he was a big motivator. I liked their speech before the matches, and I liked so much. Dénes Kemeny was a very big manager, like Sir Ferguson in the football, and I liked so much how he managed the team, how he did the relationship with the players, and he was very good in that type. And I liked so much also Pino Porzio in Prorecco. I had the opportunity to work with him. He was a perfect one, a special one like Mourinho. And I liked his mentality, and I liked how he worked with us and how he managed the big stars of the Prorecco. And he was very calm in the very, very important moment. I liked so much. And maybe what the best preparator of my life was in Savona. I worked together with Mr. Claudio Mistrangelo, big star of the Italian water polo. And he prepared the perfect the team from the beginning of the season until the end, and from Monday to Saturday to the match. And I think one coach has to study until the end, and it's never enough. You can't stop if you think you are arrived and you are just the best coach. You are in the wrong way. I'm very open to see conference and study from other coaches, even from other sports. I read a lot of books football about football coaches and others, and maybe I can put some other things from other sport to water polo. Sometimes it's working. Even I watch a lot of volleyball trainings of my daughters, and it happened that I tried something very interesting in a volleyball training, and I tried to a little bit to transform that training to water polo, and it was working. And your mind has to be open always.
Yeah. So at the moment when you think you are perfect or you arrived, as you mentioned, then in this moment you stopped also your personal development because it's not only in sports. It's today during your whole all areas, business and jobs and sports and whatever. So you have to learn, long life learning. Yeah. So when you think you are there, then you stop and stop developing yourself. And in this case, you can also not developing others. When we think about the different countries, or starting from Hungary, are there any things or any actions you say, okay, other countries should do this like we do it, from a personal development, from it playing or train with young kids, bring them to the men's level, bring it to the first division, to the national team, whatever?
It's all countries find their way how to play water polo, and not only one way take you to the gold medal. And I don't believe that my way is the perfect one.
So it's a perfect one when you win the tournament. So in this case, it's a perfect one, but it's no guarantee for the next tournament, maybe.
Yes, and we can see that the level of water polo is very high, and we have 8 or 9 teams in the world that in any tournament can win the medals, and nobody knows who will be the winner. And I don't know what who start one special thing and who is the other to copy that.
Yeah, so as mentioned before, you have maybe then to find your own special thing to win the games, because it's so tough, and the world in water polo teams, it's really so tight.
Yes, we are talking about 8 or 9 strong teams that can be win the medals, but there are a lot of other teams they go maybe for the 5th or 7th place, but if you are not concentrated, you can lose immediately. Mm-hmm. And if we are talking, for example, there is a very good Germany, Holland team, a French team that maybe nobody thinks that they can win a gold medal in a tournament, but they are very, very strong opponent team if you play them for in a quarter final or in a group. And I respect so much all countries they play water polo, especially because there many other countries they don't have that type of condition that we are living in Hungary now. I think always for my players that you are really lucky to live in this period, because it was not like now in 20 or 30 years ago. And we are doing a hobby. We are doing that we like to do, and there is somebody who is paying for us. Maybe they don't pay that level of salary that in football or handball, in basket, but they are paid well, better than the workers on the street. And they have to appreciate this moment of Hungarian water polo. We can see also that in the last period, many foreigners came to Hungary to play water polo, not only because the level of water polo in Hungary is good, also because it was guaranteed a good payment for our hobby. For this reason, I think everybody has to be really satisfied in our sport, I think, because if we look around and we are looking how many supporters are around of us, not in this pandemic period, but normally, if we don't have that numbers of supporters like in football or in handball or in basket. And
so when you say there are maybe 8, 9 or 10 teams in the world where you can say, okay, these are really the world league, so the top of the nations. Where do you see Germany in this case? So you already mentioned Germany as one of the teams you would have to be concentrated during your game to win the game at the end. So where do you see Germany at the moment?
If I think a little bit back, 2018 or in the last few years, we had sometimes very, very hard matches with Germany. We had some common trainings as well, a lot of times, and maybe it was much more helpful for Germany than for us. We had a really, really tough game in 2018. It finished 4-4 in Spain. And even in the World Cup in Berlin was a tough game, and Germany won that game. And I appreciate so much the German team and Hagenstam, because they really work very hard. Maybe they don't have 30 players, but they have 15, 16 very good players, good generation. And I think they, if you are a little bit deconcentrated, you are not concentrated enough, or you don't start well the match, very easy you can go in a hard match with Germany, because they are physically they are good prepared, and they have a good goalkeeper, two very good center forwards, and some good shooters. And I think I want to see the qualification tournament this month, because we are talking in February now, and I think nobody can have a guarantee against Germany to win a match. I've seen. For example, it's in my mind the World Championship in 2019 in Gwangju, and Germany had a really good match against Croatia. And as I remember, only in the fourth session could Croatia won that game. And we are talking about Croatia, that one of the biggest favorite on all tournament. Everything is possible, I think, for Germany.
So hopefully also the qualification for the Olympics is possible later this month.
Maybe I think we can tell that maybe they are not the favorite. Germany is not the favorite for the qualification. They can play without pressure. The pressure is on maybe in Greece and Croatia and in Montenegro. And when you have no pressure on you, many times it's easier to play. And let's see. We will be clever 1 month later.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you mentioned already the young players in the German team. So because there are two opinions saying, okay, we have to go to these kind of qualification tournaments with the experienced players and with the maybe older players to get qualified for the Olympic Games or World Championships or whatever. And the other saying, okay, we have to develop the young players to integrate them, and maybe we are not a favorite, as you say. In this case, we do not have nothing to lose, and we go there with the young players and give them the chance to collect or to gather some experiences during these kind of tournaments. So what you say, maybe as a not German citizen, what is your preferred thing? So going with the young players or maybe with the experienced?
I think Hagen knows much more
it's a combination
their players. Even if you have a staff, I have a very good staff and I'm very proud of them. And but the last decision always of the head coach, who is in the team, who has to play. And even I, in the last tournament of World League, I put a young player in the team, but very hard to put a young player in this moment in a competition, in a big competition, because many times they are not able to fight with the older and prepared players. But if it's possible, we have to give them opportunity. And last month, when we played the tournament of World League, I had a lot of injured player, the big stars of the Hungarian water polo, and I said this is the moment maybe to make them jump into the deep water. It was working because we have two really talented young guys, and one of them played really well, but to reach a real level of water polo, it's very hard. Maybe to play one match, it's easy. But if you have to play 6 matches, 6 or 7 matches in a tournament in 6-7 days, it's very hard for a young guy. But it's a decision of the coach. For example, in Hungary, it was always a big tradition to, if you found a nice talent player, to put immediately to the team. For example, Tibor Benedek with 18, 19 years old. The same thing with Tamás Kásár or Dénes Varga was in the competition, and they played. They played really well. Not only were in the competition, but they were extra player. Not only one of them.
So these maybe also the special talents at the end, where you have really difference between talents and top talent.
Yeah.
And this is really then the difference when you bring such a player then to the tournament. And it's maybe at least at the young age also possible for them to make the difference maybe from game to game. Yeah. Just coming back to your active career, because I would like to talk a little bit at least about these gold medal thing and Olympic gold medalists and so on. So what goes through a mind of a player before these kind of special matches? So when you know, okay, at least I won the silver medal, so I have this one booked, and now we go to the gold medal match.
I remember before the Sydney Olympic final, we had a conversation with Coach Kemeny, and he said before the match, guys, we have just win the silver medal yesterday. If it's enough for you, don't have to go to the water now, because we have just won it. We are playing for the gold medal. And for a Hungarian player, never one silver medal is never enough. I started with my coach career with the national team in a World Championship in Budapest in 2017, and I saw my players cry after the final. Lost final against Croatia, and it was really hard for me, really hard for the players, especially when you lose a match in front of your supporters, because it was in Budapest. And but maybe all matches that you lose helpfully for something, for another victory. We were not able maybe for win in that moment to win. We could wait for other 3 years to reach a final gold medal in Budapest, like in last year in 2020. In the European Championship, we don't think never think about to lose a match. I am very positive before all matches, even if we play with a young team, and it happened, for example, in Berlin in 2018 that a lot of players of mine was missing, and nobody thought about that we could win a match, a tournament like the World Cup. And finally we won with a medium 22 ages guys, a big tournament. I believe in my players.
Do you think it's an advantage for you that you know all the situations your players right now go through, maybe after these matches you lose, also because you personally faced all these situations also before as a player?
I think yes. One ex-player know what a player feel before a match, and know what to think about after a match. Lose in a group, and maybe I can help my players. I try to give them always an example how I show myself, how I what can they see on me. If I am motivated, if they see me that I believe in a victory, even if we lost the other 2 or 3 matches before, they can believe for the following day.
Yeah. So as a coach, what I understand at least, as a coach, you have really to be optimistic, yeah, and
yes.
Think forward thinking in each case, even when you lose maybe 2 or 1 games before. When we are talking about the Olympics, so are there any special memories from you personally saying, okay, these 1 or 2 things are really the most impressive memories attending the Olympic Games?
Yes, I remember a very special moment because in a group in the Olympic Games in Sydney, maybe some Hungarian supporters remember, we lost 2 matches against Croatia and against Yugoslavia, and it was really hard against the USA to win the match, and we were only 3rd in the group finally, and it was really hard, and we lost even Coach Kemeny because he had a red card, and we had to play without him, and after the group matches. After 5 matches, we had a rest day one day rest, and the team said to Kemeny, coach, we would like together to the center this evening. Can you give us permission? And he said, okay, don't worry, go where you want, and you can turn back when you want, but stay together. It was the only thing that asked Kemeny, stay together. And the team went together. We had maybe one beer or two, nothing special. We didn't drink any other thing, and we didn't do too late. We were talking together. We transformed a really good team as we were together in the city, and it was the moment that we decided that we wanted to give something more in the rest of the tournament, and when we turned back together, all 13 players. And when we arrived to the village, our captain sent a text message to Mr. Kemeny. Don't worry, coach, we are here, all of us. We can start the Olympic Games. And it was a really nice moment, I think. For next match was against Italy, and we played really well. We played different than before. Something was started in the city, I think, of Sydney.
You have the team building evening during the tournament in Sydney then?
Yes, the team building is important. I believe in the team. If the team likes each other, and the teammates are maybe not friends, but they respect fully for the others, and if they are friends, better. And for example, we are with that ex-team, with my ex-teammates, we are still very good friends, and with all of them, I can tell, with all of them. And when we meet like not like ex-teammates. We meet like brothers, even after 20 or 21 years after that victory.
Yeah, so I have the same, let's say, same discussion or the same feedback coming from Armando Fernandez, saying, okay, the first thing is I have to have fun in the pool. So at this day, I do not have the fun. Something went wrong, so I have to think about it. And the second one is he still meet and chat and meet each other with the teammates you mentioned before, even if it's 20 or 30 years ago. So they are still friends and really good to each other, and they know each other and talking to each other. These are really the main takeaways from him, the fun and the friendship.
Yes.
So what are the next thing for you and your team coming up right now? So during the next couple of weeks or months, are you able to train during the Corona pandemic in Hungary?
It's a very, very hard period, not only for us,
question.
For everybody. We are not different than the others. The last year was terrible for the national team and for the players. We had a very, very few trainings together. Before this World League tournament, the last time was in March, middle of March, when we played. February was the last time when we had a match against France, and we cancelled a lot of common training in the autumn, September, October, November, because our club season is very hard with a lot of matches, and they moved some matches, and there was no time to training, and the national team was not really necessary to be together. But finally, we had training before Christmas and after Christmas a little bit. The next opportunity will be maybe the next week. I hope that won't be cancelled, this opportunity. We have a common training with the Serbian team as well in Hungary. I'm probably some players of us will missing, and it's not good because in the last year we couldn't be all together in a training, and probably the next opportunity after this common training with the Serbia will be only in the end of May or the beginning of June, the preparation for the Olympic Games. It is really hard, but also very important, the club season for the players, because they have the salary there from there, and they have to do a lot for the clubs, and the national team is now is waiting for the moment to be together. I'm really happy when we have a few days together and we can work together, and even the players like to come to the national team, a little bit changing in their
something different,
normal life, and
so also in June, I think the final 8 will hopefully happen. So
yes,
for most of your players, also some highlight again. Yeah?
Yes, they have to give more for their club to play in the final 8, and but I can understand. It's no problem for me if during the year we are not too much together, but the preparation from June we have to do really a lot, because I think we are a little bit stepped back from the European Championship, but I see them motivated my players for the Olympic Games, even if it was posted 1 year later.
Yeah, so hopefully the Olympics will happen anyway. Yeah? So,
hopefully, yes.
Yeah, at the moment I really think it will happen. So the question is only how it will happen. So within what are the regulations regarding the audience, for example. So when you play water polo without any audience, so it's not really the same. At least also in a local country, it's not the same. But during the Olympic Games, playing water polo or soccer or basketball or whatever without any audiences, I don't know. So it's not really the Olympic feeling, maybe.
Yes, I visit a lot of national club matches, and there are no audience, no supporters in the match. I have a special permission to go in the pool, and many times
you are able to attend at least the local games.
Yes, and it's a really strange feeling to be alone, to see in the silence these matches. Okay, it won't be the normal Olympic Games, but better than don't have Olympic Games. That I'm praying to have this opportunity to take my team to the Olympic Games and have this competition, because we have a good team in this moment. Will be really hard. Will be really hard, but I like the complicated tournaments.
Yeah, so it has to be a challenge. Yeah, so when you go to the Olympics and you are sure that you are let's say at the semi-finals, or you're able to reach the final, so it's not anyway a challenge. But when you mentioned you have a good team and you are really optimistic to go to the Olympics with the team, how does it feel? Or you're in a special situation with Hungary, because you have, I don't know if it's pressure for you or your team, that you are in any tournament you're attending are really some kind of favorite at the end. So it's not really the case for other countries, but is it pressure for you or your team or for your nation, saying, okay, we are a favorite during this tournament from the very beginning of the tournament?
Yes, Hungary plays always under pressure. It's not
okay.
In water polo. It's a normal feeling for my players, and they got used to knowing this feeling.
Yes, because maybe also during the club career, they played also Final 8, for example, which is also not able without pressure.
Yes,
these kind of situations are similar, maybe.
Yes, it's they can manage this feeling, I think. I was really happy because a lot of my players played together in Ferencváros, more than half of the team, and they had a lot of success in the last period. They had a lot of finals and a lot of medals, gold medals in the last 2 years, and they they studied how to manage this hard situation, and the others go together with them. And I don't, and I like if we play a little bit under a little bit pressure. I don't mind if there is. Of course, we know what our supporters and what the federation, the people, Hungarian people wants from the team. What type of result can give satisfaction for our supporters? Only the first place, and we couldn't reach this first place in the Olympic Games for many years. Last time in 2008. And it really long this period without gold medal in the Olympic Games, and maybe there was some light in the last year that we can reach again, because we won the European Championship, and that is the last big competition before the Olympic Games, and we will arrive until to the Olympic Games like the last big competition winner, even if the Olympic Games is not into 2020, 2021 will be. And I think the players have to be optimist. I'm optimist as well, but the way is very hard, and we are very far from the first step, and we have to be very concentrated and from the beginning to the end to reach our dream.
Yeah, and not to say, okay, maybe one or two other teams in the group are not so hard to play there. So as you mentioned at the beginning, so you have to be concentrated during the whole tournament and saying, okay, each team we play against, it's also possible to lose, or in this case, we have to be concentrated. So I wish you all the best for the next couple of weeks. So I hope you can meet with the team in a couple of weeks or days again. So as you mentioned, so I cross the fingers that the training week will happen. All the best for you, and also for your family. Stay safe and healthy. Maybe we can see each other during the Final 8 in Hanover, maybe. So in the case it will happen, nobody knows at the moment. And yeah, if it's not the case, so I wish you all the best for the Olympic Games.
Thank you so much for this invitation, and I wish the best for all of you, and all for was with us now, and safe and healthy. This is the most important, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. So thanks again for your time, Tamás, and speak to you soon, or see you soon somewhere here in Hanover, maybe.
Okay, hope so. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
So thank you, Tamás, for the great conversation during our talk and the podcast episode. And I hope everybody out there really enjoys also our conversation today. And thanks for listening, and thanks for tuning in again. I hope to welcome you again also next week when we publish the newest version and the newest episode of the podcast. In the meantime, I would suggest that you subscribe to the newsletter on the website. So stay safe and healthy, and we hear each other next week again.